It looks like that the Dogechain is legit and we're just going to have to accept it. So this is going to be my second video that I'm making on Dogechain. I'm going to give the positives and negatives and kind of some updates. I did a video 5 days ago. Never mind, I FOMO'd Dogechain initial review. So the thing that piqued my interest initially is it got added to KuCoin. It has now been added to additional exchanges, including Huobi. There's been some other kind of decentralized exchanges popped up. Bitmart got added there, and then some of the stuff isn't added in, um, here on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, but it has also been added to Poloniex and also CoinEx. So I'm sure there will be some more, chain or more exchanges listed. There was speculation it could be added to Binance, and some people were tracking the wallets and stuff like that. There were screenshots and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's going to be added to Binance soon or not. But that being said, it has been added to quite a bit. There is a lot of volume, obviously, with KuCoin and Huobi, Gate.io, Bitmart, and then obviously these decentralized, exchanges as well. One thing I will mention so that you don't get confused, some of this stuff is, occurring on the Ethereum chain, and some of this is occurring on the Doge chain already and stuff. So I know it can be confusing and stuff like that. So some of this stuff is tokenized on Ethereum or out on, it seems like out on Polygon, and then some of it's on the native Doge chain. So just make sure you kind of know what network you're on so that you don't get crossed up there. Now, what are some of the additional things that I found out? So a couple days ago, September 2nd, they, basically had, this talk and everything that was a couple hours long. And, it actually was really insightful and very good. And there was a lot of, for one, team members on there, but then there were also some of the people that were building stuff on Dogechain and some of the projects that are going to be popping up on there. So that gave some insight. So one of the things that I didn't know initially, and I was getting no answers through email, through the Discord, or through Telegram, was, where is this team located? Is this like an anonymous team out of China? Like, who's kind of heading this up? Wasn't getting a lot of answers. It does seem like it is primarily an American team, and seems like maybe some people from the UK and potentially Canada. And the only reason I say Canada is because somebody said again. They said, yeah, we're going to do it again or something. So I was just kind of picking up some of those voices, but it does seem like that one of the main guys involved in this is this Rock Zacharias, who is the co-founder of QuickSwap and seemed to be deeply involved in Polygon initially. And if you guys watched my last video or just kind of up to date on Dogechain, is built on Polygon Edge. So that was actually really insightful just to hear Rock talking. It says he's in California. It does seem like some of his pictures on Instagram and stuff were up around the Bay Area, and it looks like he'd been to Lake Tahoe, this and that. So he might be kind of maybe more kind of Bay Area located and stuff like that. So that was that was interesting just to kind of hear him talk and actually explain some of the stuff, because one of the things that came out was they were saying that the Dogechain team had offered Billy Marcus like $14 million to promote Dogechain. So he kind of talked about that whole situation, which I thought was interesting. So you'd have to kind of listen to this whole thing, and you're able to play it at 1.5 speed or 2x to kind of get through it and stuff like that. And then just some of the other guys that were in there, it seems like these two guys were working kind of on the same projects with this Lunar Digital Assets, which seems to be maybe Rock's company because he's the CEO there. So yeah, this is my first knowledge of these guys, but that did give me some clarity of kind of where the team is. It does seem like it's mainly US based, and it is people with kind of a track history and all that. So that was interesting, and that actually was insightful. So if you don't know what QuickSwap is, it's basically a decentralized exchange out on Polygon, and has been, obviously very successful. And so if Rock is co-founder of this and deeply involved in this and stuff like that, that's definitely a good thing to be on the team. Now in the Discord and in um, Telegram and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I have not gotten a lot of answers, and it just has not seemed like there's been a lot of team members kind of pop in. And anytime I've tried to message team members or try to get a developer to communicate with me directly, it really has not gone anywhere, and that's happened over a week. Now they might just be like super busy and all that kind of stuff like that. So I'm just trying to take that in court. I sent an email with a detailed proposal about a week ago, have not even heard anything back, which did concern me until, I listened to this talk and stuff like that, and then just kind of taking into, um, the fact that it is Labor Day weekend and stuff like that. Maybe they got caught up and their focus was getting on these various exchanges and, answering other questions or getting back to people who got to them earlier or something like that. But that did concern me that I've not heard back. Now on DeFi Llama, Dogechain has been added, so you can look up the various different projects and stuff like that. So you can go here to chains over here, and then you can go down to Dogechain, and they've got these various projects and stuff, whether it be dexes. So there are some dexes, and this is one of the thing when I initially got in the Discord and I was finding out about the project and it got added to KuCoin and all this kind of stuff. It was like, okay, how much is actually happening on chain? So it has been added to DeFi Llama, and you see the total value locked as 23 million at this point and rising. So what you'll see with these different projects, these different chains that are deployed like this, is over time, as more and more dexes are added, more and more farms are added, and more and more, lending or these money markets get added, then it incentivizes people to get on there, to bring in their liquidity and participate in this ecosystem. And so you will see the total value locked will, typically continue to rise and rise and rise in this kind of situation. So let's look at a couple of the offerings from the DEX perspective. So, you got your typical format here. So if you bridged, on your Doge, it turns into W Doge, like Wrap Doge basically, and you can trade to these various other assets on here: USDC, USDT, ETH, DAI. Kind of surprised. Well, I mean, I guess I won't say anything further about that. So you do have some of these dexes. Um, Here's another one. And you see the farms here. I clicked on the farms. And it's like, okay, what would be a reason why somebody would bridge onto this? Well, a lot of times stablecoin pools on various other chains that are more established, whether that be Phantom, Harmony One, Avalanche, just with the prices getting beat up during the bear market and stuff like that, the prices are down a lot. So here you go. Here's a stablecoin pool BUSD to USDC, 44.42%. That is an APY. That's not an APR, but 44% is really good. So you got various things that you could do here. You could do, if you were like, well, you wanted to build your position in, various assets that, weren't stable coins. I don't like that there's not a WBTC to a WETH here that I'm seeing. It'd be nice to see that because, that type of pool would be good. But even if you're part and stable and you're building a position in Bitcoin, you got 36.01%. So you got some stuff that you can play around here with. Now, I've not been on this farm. I'm not necessarily, suggesting it or not. You're going to have to check to see if this particular thing is audited and if it has a good track record and stuff like that. I want you guys getting rug pulled and not going to bat for this particular Yoda swap or whatever. Here's another one, Keyable Swap, and this one's interesting because it says we are the first DEX on Dogechain to enable both Synapse and multi-chain bridgeable assets. And this is kind of a newer concept that's popping up. But again, and we'll go over to the swap thing, and you guys will see kind of what's going on. But anyway, USDC.S or USDC.M, and you got 18.72%. So again, a little bit newer of a concept. People are coming in from another chain. So let's go over to the swap and basically, well, I went over to the Synapse thing. So you could come, it looks like, and I have not used this, you can come straight from the Ethereum chain over to the Doge chain with this and utilizing like USDC. So I'm assuming this will turn into USDC.S because it'll be like the Synapse thing. So that could get confusing. It is certainly confusing to me because I don't know if you end up with this USDC.S, if you've really got to kind of stay, over here and stay on this S, or if you have to pop to this USDC.M, and then if you wanted to go over here, if this USDC is USDC.M, I'm not really sure. So you guys are going to have to kind of verify on that. I have not used this service, but this does, obviously give some utility and stuff. And as long as you can get back to obviously like ETH, USDC, wrapped Bitcoin, DAI as well, but BNB as well. We kind of see, and then obviously Doge. So some of the stuff has become like world reserve currencies. I always say that Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and then obviously Doge, you have, large wallet engagement. You have a lot of like holders of something like Doge. So these kind of become world reserve assets to some respect. So as long as you can get back to that. Money markets are important on these chains. This is the only one that I've seen so far, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of activity right now. And it might just, this might have literally just kind of popped up, but this Atlantis.loans, and you can select Dogechain. So they have all these different markets on various different chains, out on the Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, out on Ethereum. So they have these various different markets and stuff like that. So they do have one on Dogechain, and these money markets are obviously going to be important. When you can, borrow assets and stake your assets over here and then borrow against them and stuff. So money markets are important. The DEXs are important. And then obviously various different games and stuff like that getting built out, and the ability to auto compound. So there's some of that popping in. And if you listen to that audio, you'll kind of see some of the different offerings and some of the different people that are building various things on Dogechain. So Floki is, again, one of these kind of like knockoff Doge tokens, I call them. But it's kind of interesting. If some of these guys actually come back in the fold and take what they've been developing and sort of, connect it to the Dogechain, or, intertwine the Dogechain with that, this could be advantageous actually to the Dogecoin community. Whereas previously, I have always sort of felt like that stuff like Floki and Shiba Inu and stuff like that is a distraction and actually kind of pulling attention away from Dogecoin. But this might actually happen. So they have this Valhalla, basically metaverse that they're building, and I guess they're going to interconnect it with the Doge chain. I don't know to what capacity or exactly what their plans are with that, but they were on the audio recording and stuff and talking about that to add it to this Valhalla thing. So that's one thing to look out for. So games are coming, and I'm trying to look because I'll have to go down through here. Well, this is a good example here. Let's look at this. There's a little metaverse little thing that's kind of going on that somebody's building and stuff with Dogechain. So you could go and buy NFTs. You could basically go over to the DEXs and swap out and stuff like this. If you guys were on Harmony One, if you ever went to, what was it? It was Jewel. It was DeFi Kingdoms. This very much reminds me of DeFi Kingdoms. So this could be, obviously like very useful. DeFi Kingdoms was very popular during the height of the market and stuff like that. And they started expanding to other chains and stuff. So this is something to look out for. There are people building, and it's looking good. So a lot of stuff is happening. That was just 21 hours ago. So a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, Dogechain had been trending and stuff on CoinGecko, and more and more stuff has been added. So I guess in summary, for my second review here, my main thing, I'm actually to a point I was a little bit annoyed because it was like I wasn't getting any help in Discord, wasn't getting any help on Telegram. And I'm like, where is this team? Is this team just going to basically take the coins, take the tokens, and, basically just dump on everybody? Or they're going to just kind of like everybody's just going to get rugged? What's going on with this? Because obviously we have to have a certain level of skepticism in the crypto community. And, I did send a detailed basically breakdown of various different things, that I could do to help promote this and see if there's a potential for that. And I am a little bit annoyed that, it's pretty much been over a week. I haven't heard anything back. And I would say I'm probably I don't know, it's hard to gauge, but maybe top 15 or top 20 promoters of Dogecoin, basically whatever worldwide. So I'm just kind of, a little bit perplexed by that and some of the things that I could, do to kind of promote this chain and just improve the ecosystem and stuff like that. So that being said, a little bit annoyed by that, but then on second glance, then again, I was impressed with the talk, and I was impressed with the team and different people coming in and building and stuff like that. So still doing some trading out on KuCoin, and still just kind of seeing how this project progresses. But right now, when you see it, and on CoinMarketCap, it's way, way low, but 764th rank, and you're talking about a market cap of 14.5 million. That's a tiny, tiny, tiny market cap, compared to stuff that didn't have near as much utility and was just kind of this knockoff Doge token. So I think that the big takeaway from this is, and again, you got to decide, if you want to invest in this, and it might be too risky, and you might want to just focus on, stacking Bitcoins or stacking Ethereum or stacking Dogecoin itself, that kind of thing at this point in the market. This is a little bit more of a speculative play. We are swimming upstream because we are in a bear market, but there is a lot of activity with this. And, typically during a bear market, there will be, a handful of projects that will kind of shine and kind of buck the trend and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's going to totally buck that, but as we go along, we are going to get more total value locked. There will be more liquidity that's going to come to this, because right now, if you're out on these other chains and you're doing even stablecoin to stablecoin, about the most you can earn is about 3-4%, maybe 6% on some chains. And when people are able to go over here to various different farms and earn a little bit better return, BUSD to USDC 20%, USDC to USDT basically about 20%. So when you're able to do that, people will come over to greener pastures, and that in itself can just bring just more liquidity over to this project and more attention and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, that's my assessment for this second review. What do you guys think at this point, based on what you guys have seen with the Doge chain? Are you guys going to invest? Do you think it's worth it? And do you think this team has the ability to, get this potentially get it on Binance, and, really build this ecosystem out and get this thing on the first page of CoinMarketCap, on the first page of CoinGecko, and get in that top 100? Leave your comments below. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam it, Twitter, Hive, DTube, everywhere. See you guys.